my screen. Hello, please confirm if you can see my screen so that we can kickstart the session while others join us. Good afternoon once again.
Yeah,
Please
I can
confirm.
see welcome to Microsoft Eastern Power Platform Community.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we are starting now. Just a quick recap on what we did yesterday. Just a quick recap on what we did yesterday. Right. So welcome us from community meetup session. Still on analyzing and visualizing data with Microsoft Power BI, right? And our guiding principle remains respect. One class is key. Having an open mind, muting of mic when you are not asking, when you are not talking, ask question when where necessary. Punctuality is also key. Currently, we are behind schedule, and we'll try as much as we can to use just an hour 30 minutes for today's session, or less than, right? So this is me, and yeah. Yesterday we looked at this concept. I won't be talking much on this, but just to refresh us, right? We looked at all this yesterday. Overview component of data analysis. We looked at the descriptive, diagnostic, predictive. We call it prescriptive, as well as the cognitive, right? And look at the roles in data analysis and data analysts. The role for which we focus on the tasks of a data analyst, and we equally looked at what Power BI is, and looked at the connections that Power BI has the capability to, and we looked at data rules. Now we'll be starting with these data rules, right? Yesterday I did mention that we'll be diving into Power Query today, right? We'll be looking at how best we can clean our dirty data. Recall I did mention that in our previous session we did created a report on pivot table as well as Power Pivots, right? Using a clean data set. And a sample of a clean data set is what we have here, right? These are data table. Okay, this is sample of a clean data set, right? A flat farm. So this is yeah. So we have only one row of header. Here we don't have any single column or single rows. If we place our mouse anywhere in this table now, right, in this data, and do Control A, it highlights everything. Right? But let me just a minute. Let me open a sample of dirty data. I said Roku. Just a minute, please. Just a minute, let me open sample of dirty data. Okay, so Power BI. Let's see this. Okay, so let's open this. So I said we'll be looking at dirty data rule broken and how best we can work with Power Query in cleaning our data. So this is a dirty data. Let me say this is an Excel sheet, Excel workbook that has 2 sheets, right? We have 2 sheets.
Hello, sir. I can't hear what you are saying at all.
Oh, sorry for that. Can you hear me? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now, please?
Yes, I can hear you. Maybe you have to be like maybe audible enough.
Okay,
And
audible,
if
right?
I thought you are using any other devices, I believe it used to affect it.
Okay, I'm not using any other
Maybe they hear the
devices.
background device. Maybe that's right. But as for me, I can hear you. Probably for others that can't hear, maybe you can be a bit louder. That'll be okay. Thank you, sir.
All right. Yeah, let me drop something. Okay, so I will just need to be audible. Okay, so I said yesterday we looked at the data rule, and today we'll be working cleaning dirty data. This is the dirty data that we have. We'll be working to cleaning this dirty data. Please, as we proceed at any point, if my network is going off and on and you can't hear me clearly, please call on my attention so that I can consider changing my network, please. Thank you. And if you can't hear me at any point, please just let me know. Right. Thank you. Ozioma, you have your hand raised. Hello, Ozioma.
Maybe it's for my device. Because me, I can hear you audibly if it's about if that's what she's about to say.
No. Okay. All right. Okay. So I was explaining a sample of a clean data, and I said this is a flat file, and this data now contained in this worksheet is not breaking any rule. You can see one row of headers, right? And if you keep your mouse anywhere, or you select any of this cell and just do Control A to highlight all the and just do Control A, right? You will highlight all the data. You see that all the data in this Excel worksheet is currently highlighted. But if we go to this dirty data, right, and if I keep my mouse here and do Control A, let me see. If I do Control A, if I keep my mouse here and do Control A, let me see, Control A, you see, only this data is highlighted. If I do same here, same thing. If I do same here, same thing. And if peradventure I load this to Power BI, right, or Excel, it won't match this data. The data will be broken. I won't have the full data, right, for creating my report. So this is highly unacceptable. But if I have something here, right? Say I'm here, right? I don't have what happened between these two tables, right? If I do Control A, you see everything is selected. In this left side of our screen, everything is selected. And if I come here and just let me see anywhere here, maybe let me see here, right? I just duplicate this and come here, do Control A. Watch what happened. Everything here highlights. So as such, now there is no empty row, there's no empty row in this table. We only have empty column, and which is this column D, right? Which is this column D. And if I should come here and just type anything, let me say done, right? Let me just type anything here and click here, right? And do Control A. Now, watch what happened. If I do Control A, the whole data highlights, because in this table now, we don't have any empty column nor empty row. No empty column is found in this table. no empty row as well. What we currently have are just empty cells. These are cells. What we currently have is just empty cells, right? So just take note of that. What we currently have are just empty cells. So we also stated that there shouldn't be any obstruction around your data. Now, in a situation whereby you go to your report, your data, and now insert comment, let's say in this numerical figure, you notice something. Oh, this is just the highest revenue per se. Let's assume that this is just the highest figure, right? And that was recorded in 1st April on the 1st of April 2014, right? And you come here and just say, let's say, good job, right? Good job. This is what we mean by obstruction around your data. This is highly unacceptable, right? This is highly unacceptable. You trying to insert comments. You trying to insert comments in your numerical data, right? It's highly unacceptable, because when you want to carry out your calculation, right, this stuff that you have here will definitely affect it, and as such you won't have the accurate results. Let's say for instance the total output ought to be let's say 25 billion, and because you have, let's say 20 billion, right? Because you have over let's say 9 billion here. I'm just using that as an example. Because we have 9 billion here, once you convert this in Power BI, trying to prepare your data, and you don't take care of this, once you convert it to the data type which is required, right, this will definitely return no error or invalid, as the case may be. So, and if you want to do away with that in order to get the accurate results or accurate calculation, you would need to take out error or replace such error with maybe 0 or no and the like, right? And as such, you won't get the expected outcome or the actual result for which you ought to get. So those things are necessary for us to take into consideration. If we must have comments, if we must capture, let's say, such comments in our data, please always insert a column called comments. Always have a column called comments, right? Now, the unfortunate part of this is that most time, right, you will receive data. The data structure, the way the data has been structured, you might not even have power over it, because you are not the one. When the table is being structured to collect this data, right, you weren't informed. Your opinion wasn't sought, and probably you just joined the firm new, right, and you get such data. What do you need to do? You need to first manually place Power Query and do that. Let me say it's advisable you go to Power Query and do that, so that subsequently when you receive same data, you just need to load and click on refresh, and the whole stuff pass through the process and give you the expected result. So in this case now, what we need to do is just to take out this comment which has been inserted alongside this numerical figure, and just have a column called comments. Maybe we can say good job here, let's say poor and the like, depending whatever comment that you need to enter, you just need to enter it. Have a column called comments. So you must not have any obstruction around your data. That is what we mean by that. Back to our rule. I just need us to understand this, because this is what we'll be looking at now. All dates must be in a single column. It's very important. Remember this thing. Every unique data type must have its own column, no total or subtotal around your data, no obstruction around your data. I've explained it. Only one row of heading is allowed, and that is it, right? Now let's dive into Power BI. I believe that some of us here have installed Power BI because I did send us the link, and I did mention yesterday that if we are having challenge trying to install that, please kindly log in early enough so that we can handle that. But I guess we didn't join the session early because we've treated that. So I believe that we've all taken care of that. But in case you are having challenge installing Power BI now, please, you can just proceed to Excel. You can still work, practicalize what we will be doing today's session using Excel. There's Power Query in Excel as well. It's same feature with that of Power BI. The only difference is that the Power BI that we'll be using sits in, the Power Query that we'll be using sits in Power BI, right? So once you open a new Power BI, this is the first thing you will see, right? You will have this. What you just need to do, you can decide to get data from here, right? And you can decide to go through these short videos to have, basic understanding of what you are about doing, right? But in our case, I'm going to close this. What we are going to do is that we are going to close this, and now this is the Power BI interface, right? So this is our Power BI interface. We need to create a report. Remember, I said that at the end of this session, we should have something like this, right? Or at the end of this training, by next week, Sunday, we should have something like this. Definitely. We should have this replicated. That you can slice and dice and you continue working on that. And for those of us who will stay to the end of next week training, right? I will make sure that I provide a course on Udemy for us to go through, a supporting course that will help us to further advance, some other things that we couldn't treat in this session. You go through that. So the course is made up of 28 hours, right? So on your leisure time, you can decide to go in order to advance. You said? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Yeah.
Okay.
And between Power Query and Power Pivot, will Power Query do the same thing as Power Pivot? Are they similar?
No. They are not same thing. Power Query, it's an ETL, like Power Query, it's an ETL to use to extract data, transform, and then load. Why Power Pivot, right? You have pivot table and you have Power Pivot, right? Power Pivots, it's just a machine that sits on pivots, right? And pivot table for you to do your data analysis and data analysis basically, and then visualization. So, but they are not the same thing. They are not same thing.
Okay,
they
so
have
for
different function.
Can't do visualization on it.
You said?
For Power Query, you can't do visualization on it.
No. Use Power Query to clean your data, to transform your data. You don't use it to visualize. No. You don't use it to
maybe
visualize.
There's error, but maybe if there's errors or any other thing, that's for Power.
Okay, for your data, I don't know what you mean by visualization, but in terms of building this kind of visual, you can't use it to visualize your data. Neither can use it to achieve what we did in Excel, right? Last week.
Okay.
So, but you can, in Power Query, you can, while cleaning your data, you can see the your data quality, to know the number of percentage. There will just be a short bar that will appear. I'm going to be showing us that in a moment, right?
Okay, no problem, sir. Thank you.
All right, so this is the Power BI interface, right? On the right, we have our field pane, right? We have our field pane. and we have our visualization pane. This is what we call our visualization pane. We have our fields and we have our formats right here. Here we have our filter. Do you see that? I'm just currently enlarging that. So we have our filter, and here we have our tabs: home tab, insert tab, right? Modeling tab, view tab, help, right? You can go to help and watch some training videos, right? So, and that is it. So, just a minute, let me admit run. Okay, so, and that is it. And we have our ribbon, right? This white space is where you build your report, and this is called Canva. Now, importantly, I want you to know something, that Power BI, without me sending you a data set, you can practicalize on your own. You just open a Power BI, you have try a sample data set. You can use this to build your own, report, just to, try something new. So you have that. And from here now, you can get data from Excel, from SQL, and from blank. So depending on where you want to get data, and that is it. This is called pages. This is called pages. This white space is called Canva, right? This on the left, we have our report. Currently, we don't have anything because we haven't brought in any data. Here we have our data view. We have our data view. If we have data now, the data will be seated here. And here we have, our modeling, or our modeling view, or our model view, right? This is where we create connection. Remember what we did in Power Query, that we created connection, right? So we'll be doing that in our next session, looking at it holistically, right? We'll be looking at it in detail. So in our next session, that is building or creating relationship among tables. So just to recap on what I just said, this our field, but if you remember in this stuff, in this blank Power BI, we don't have any data here. Do you see it? We don't have any data, but in this one, we have data. And if we come here, right, if we come to data, you see there's data here. There's data, and we can go through all this to see the different data seated in this data view, right? And now we can go to model. Do you see? This is our model. Let me close this property. So that we say that. So do you see the relationship that we've created? Without this relationship, we cannot slice and dice this report. It's not possible. So, and the level of accuracy of your report model determines the level of accurate report that you get. That means your outcome, or the outcome of your report. I just want us to understand that if you get this wrong, if you get your data modeling wrong, you can never get your required output or your expected output. You can never get it unless you go there and create it. And now you can get this right without cleaning your data very well. If you don't clean your data very well using Power Query, you can never get the expected outcome, right? So back to our back to our blank Power BI, right? For us to get data, we would need to go to get data. We need to go to get data, right? Now we have the ability, Power BI has the ability to connect to hundreds of data sources, for which we discussed yesterday. Yes, I can decide to click on Excel here. We need to go get our data. Now I have sent us an email that contains this file called data sample, right? Data sample. I'll be connecting to this right now, and we need to clean data 1 as well as data 2. and you will have dirty data 3 as your assignment. I'll try as much as I can to explain this, keeping everything simple and as much as I can to ensure that we end the session before 5:30, right? So let's just dive in. I believe that you all have that file saved on your desktop. So we need to go get that file to Power Query. Now, see what we do. Please look up. I can click on Excel here and I will navigate to Excel, but I don't want to do that. I just want to show you other stuff, other way you can get that. I can click here, but I don't want to do that. I can click here. I don't want to do that. Let me show you. I'll go to more, right? I clicked on get data, go to more. I just want to show you, trying to explain all these things. It's coming up. Okay, so here we can connect to a text file, we can connect to a PDF. Let's say you receive, a table that's maybe a table sent to you, and that table contains a list of, let's say, 1,000 persons, 1,000 people, right? Their email, their location, their date of birth, skinny con, a whole lot of data, right, about a single person, up to 1,000 persons, right? And you are being asked to ensure that you input those data into Excel. How do you do that? It's very simple. You can use PDF converter, but in a situation whereby it don't work, maybe the one that you have, you need to pay for, pay for a software in order to convert that, what do? It's best. What you just need to do is just to open your Power BI. Open your Power BI and connect, use your Power Query to get the data, right? Or you go to Excel, go to get data, connect to the PDF, right? Once you load it to Power Query, it automatically load. Then you can now export it into Excel. So that is just one way. So these are the various data connection, but I'll be connecting to Excel. So we are going to click here. I'm going to click this Excel. I'm going to click on connect, click on or hit on connect. So now I have my data stored. Where do I have my data stored? Let me see Excel. Okay, this is it. I have my data stored here. So I'll click and open, right? Let's see, this should launch a new dialog box. Note something. This dialog box that has been launched for us is called Navigate, right? Navigate. And I want you to note something. Do you see this? What we currently have here now is Excel worksheet. We have a workbook that contains 3 worksheets. This data contained in this worksheet are not formatted into table. Now let me, because sometimes you would need to format your, this thing into table so that to ease the whole process, for you, right? Here's my dirty data. Okay, this is it, right? You see, this is not in a table format. You see that? I can decide to, and this is in a table format currently, but my data is currently wrong. It's currently dirty. So this is not in a table format. I don't need this. I just want to load it, and let me undo because I've already connected to it. So I don't need to change that. Let me take care of it in Power Query. So what we need to do to clean dirty data 1 as well as dirty data 2, right? Let's say you have 5, 6, 7 worksheets in Excel. You have 5-7 worksheet in Excel, and out of that 5-6,
Which one are you working on?
Sample. I sent it to Ross via email today. So that is what I connected to. So that is what I connected to. I just see what I did, right? I went to what is it called? Get data. I click on Excel, I navigate and connected to that. I clicked open and it launched this dialog box for me. So I haven't done any. I don't know if that is clear.
Yeah, sure. I understand. But I want to ask you, so my own is not giving me names on my interface.
What is it giving you?
It just give me get data. You know your own, you put Excel workbook, Power BI. My own does not have that.
No. See, let me go back. This is it. Let me click from here. If I click from here just to make the whole thing. So this is it. I just clicked X.
Yes, I understand. But my own did not have Excel workbook. I like the way your own is being well detailed on the interface of the Power BI.
I don't get. It's not clear to me what you're trying to explain.
I mean the interface of my Power BI.
Okay, I should go.
My own is not giving me Excel. It's not giving me name of those things. I want to see maybe there's how you make yours to be well detailed. So it's not giving me description of this thing. Like just like for Excel workbook, Power BI, just come down small. Like on the interface of that Power BI desktop.
This one I'm displaying now.
It's the same thing, but it's not giving me names. You still don't understand.
Can you share your screen? Let me see.
Okay,
can you share your screen? Let me see. Just
I'm using my phone. No.
Oh, okay. Let's continue. Maybe we'll check that later, right? So, right. Hello?
I said no problem.
Okay. So click on this and launch.
Let's continue.
Okay, yeah. So once I open and we'll have our navigator, right? Have a navigator. Well, you can preview. Let's say I need to work on Excel, one of these sheets, but I don't know the sheet, but I know how the data look like, right? I don't know the sheet name, but I know how the data look like. I can just click this to preview. Do you see that? I'll click this to preview. So I can click to preview. Is this what I need? Okay, no. Is this what I need? Yes or no? So you can just click to preview, right? So, but in our case now, I'm going to bring in dirty data 1 and 2, right? Because that is what we'll be cleaning, and you take dirty data 3 to clean as your assignment. Now, we've selected dirty data 1 and 2. What do we need to do at this point? Should I click load, transform data, or cancel? What should I do at this point, please? Can someone help me out?
Transform data.
Okay, transform data, great. Thanks. So what we need to do is to transform data, because this data is currently dirty. But if it is a neat data, let's assume that this is the data that I connected to, right? I already know that my data is currently clean, right? What I will just need to do is just to load it. But it's good, even if the data is clean, I always try to transform. Like if I go to this thing, in order so that I can be able to, change what is it called, the data type, or check the data type to ensure that the data type that I currently have are the right data type to those data, right? So click transform data. Just click transform data and it should launch our Power Query. Do you see that? Titled Power Query Editor. And here we go, right? Now we are in Power Query. We need to clean our data. We have dirty work 1, dirty work 2. We will start with dirty work 1. But before we start cleaning this data, I want us to note something. Immediately we came in, recall that we connected to a source. We got our data from somewhere, right? On my desktop. And that is called source. Where you get something from is the source of that thing, right? I got my data from this is my source. Then a window appeared, a dialog box appeared, right? And it was called navigation. This is it, navigate. Now, how come do I have this promoted header here? Do I have this change type here as well? I will explain. In Power Query, any step that you take, trying to clean your data, right? Once you go to get data and you click on transform, any step you try to take or you take, right, will be recorded here. If it is Excel, once you do a mistake, right? Let's assume that we never wanted to change type. We did a mistake. What do we need to do on Excel? We click Ctrl Z to undo, right? If it is Tableau, we click Ctrl Z, it will undo, right? But on Power BI, it's not so. On Power Query, it's not so. You cannot click Ctrl Z. You can't use Ctrl Z to undo what you've done, right? What you need to do is go to your apply step. Any step that we take here, any step that we take in cleaning our data will be recorded here. And if we miss any step and maybe at the end our data isn't clean, we just need to retrace our step back, right? And ensure that we know what best to do and do such thing. So for you to undo what you've done in Power Query, what you need to do is just to come to under apply step, and click on this X. Click on this and it takes that step out. You might not, sometimes once you click on this apply step to undo your step, you might not see the changes, but insofar as you are conversant and you know what you've done, right, you should be fine with that. So I want us to note something, that when we came into Power Query, we automatically have 4 steps: source, navigate, promoted headers, and change type. Please, when you have this, always remove the last 2 steps and leave only source and navigation before you start cleaning your data. Once you come into Power Query, ensure you remove the last 2 steps added to you. Ensure that you remove the last 2 steps, thereby leaving only source and navigation, right? Because Power Query assumes that, you get your data, you click on navigation, you click on transform data, right? Power Query assume, this data is dirty. Let me do something. Let me try cleaning it. Power Query then promoted headers, and try to do some other things, right? But it never Power Query never got to the end, because it don't know how to proceed. You don't know what data you need to take out and what data you need to leave, right? So you just stopped at change type. So as such, you need to take out those steps that has automatically been added to you by Power Query. It's very important. If you don't take it out, most times you will have serious challenge and you will never recall. So the first thing first, once you get here, take out the last 2 steps. So when I take out this promoted header, now watch what's happened. And this is what we got, right? So in Power Query, let me explain something. Just like in Power BI, we have our home, we have our transform data, we have our add column for advanced, Power Query is versatile. You can do a whole lot of crazy things using Power Query depending on how dirty your data is, right? So that is it. We have view, right? A view. For us to see this column quality, all this percentage, we use our view. If I uncheck this, right, go to view to do that. If I uncheck this, do you see those bars that we have here has gone off? But if I go here and click on column quality, right, we have this. Now I know that in this my column 1, the valid, the total valid cell constitutes 71%, error 0, empty cell 24. right? Now in this stuff, same thing here, and the like, and so on, right? But we want to clean this our data to ensure that we have 100% valid. Please ask your question. Hello?
On my interface, now it's not showing value and error.
It's not showing valid and error, right? You don't have this white space. This is how your look at my screen now, please. Look at my screen.
Okay.
Is this how yours is?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Please, can you just mute? Can you mute? What you need to do is to go to view. Once you go to view, do you see view? Do you see view? Click on column quality. Do you see column quality? Click on it and you see those percentage, right? Those will guide you to have a quick view of how neat your data is or how dirty. So I guess
I've seen it. Thank you very much.
All right, great. So I just want to ensure that. So we have tools, we have to diagnose, start diagnose, right? We have help. You can go, and once you are done, you can close and apply, close or apply, right? Now under the home tab, you have source, we have recent, enter data, manage data source setting. We have refresh preview. We equally have choose, add column and the like. But I want us to note something that we'll be working more, using this tab, home, transform, and add column. Most especially we'll be working, you will need to work using the transform tab because most things that you need, like fill down and the like, are all in Power, are all in the transform tab. There are a number of things that we do, try to carry out, on Excel, that we can just load those data into Power Query and use Power Query to achieve whatever thing that we need to do, trying to write formulas, trying to look for shortcuts. Just load it to Power Query if you understand the workings of Power Query, and you will achieve that, in terms of cleaning your data. So now let's get started to cleaning this our dirty data, right? Remember we said that we need to clean our dirty data to look like this, to look clean this way. So how do we transform this? First and foremost, what we need to do in transform tab of your Power Query, there's what we call transform.
Please, can you enlarge your screen, please?
Okay, just a minute. Oh, sorry, it's not. I don't know. My stuff is frozen. That is frozen. It's not just working for me. I don't know. This zoom out. I understand what you just said, but please, you will need to bear with me because my stuff is not responding. In our previous session, it didn't respond. I don't know why. I will need to change that. Hello?
Okay, no problem. I quite understand. Yeah. I will just take it like that.
Yeah, please just bear with me. Yeah. So, in our transform tab, right, there's what we call transpose. Once you have your data this way, I want you to know this step. Recall I said that any step that we take will be added here. So over time, you will understand why you do some certain things, right? I will, because even if I give you all the explanation, you would definitely not still get it. As time goes on, you get, as you familiarize yourself with D2, you get to be better at, working with it if you are new to the tool, right? So what we need to do to this data first is to go transpose. We need to turn this data. We need to turn it from what it is now to a different turn. So I'll click transpose, and we've just transposed this data. If we go back to navigate, let me cancel the transpose. We see our region going across columns, right? But we want this our region going across column to be in a single column. What do we do? And we want all this our revenue going across column, across different columns to be in a single column, right? What do we do? We are going to transpose. Remember our rule? Here's our rule. We say no empty column, no empty row. All data must be in a single column. Every unique data type must have its own column. Now, our data is not breaking the first rule, neither is it breaking the second rule. And currently, let me see, this is our year, right? It's not breaking the third rule, right? But, and I don't know if it is breaking the fourth rule, fifth and sixth, right? I mean the fifth rule, sixth and seventh. But for the fourth rule, which is every unique data type must have its own column. Currently, this our data is breaking that rule. And if your data break one rule, that data is guilty of all. So you must ensure that your data complies with all the rules. Your data for reporting complies with all the rules, right? So currently we have our revenue going on, and that is not what we want. We want it to be in a single column. What do we need to do? We need to transpose. See our region going across column. That is not what we want. We transpose. Now we transpose. Trying to transpose, we are trying to solve one problem, but unfortunately, we now created another problem. I know some of us will be faced with this. Please watch and listen. We are trying to solve one problem, but unfortunately, we created another one. Recall that we have our year in a single column and our region going across column. But unfortunately, when we transpose, we have our region, a good one, going into one column, but quite unfortunate that our date went into different column, while our revenue remain in different column. How do we do this? How do we do this? Good enough for us. We have this, right? I don't know if how many of us have received data in Excel that look like this. Let me say like this way, right? Look like this. You have something like maybe North Central, and you would need to fill this North Central down and do this down. What do you do? Do you highlight? Do you usually highlight and drag down? Then when you come here, you highlight, you drag down, you come here, you highlight, you drag down, you come here, you highlight, you drag down. On Excel, there's a shortcut, how you can achieve that. You can just go to format, click on blank and fill blank, right, with whatever information before the blank. So, but in Power BI, right, there's a tool that there's function that we can use, and which is this fill down. We need to fill this down, right? We need to fill this down. Fill this North Central all the way down here, Northeast all the way down, and so on and so forth. What do we do? We highlight this. Please watch. If I highlight this and go click on fill down, it won't affect this, right? And this is what I want to work on. This is what I want to address. So what I need to do is just to highlight this and go. We click on fill down, fill, and we click on down. And you see currently we have North Central, Northeast, Northwest, and the line. So we have these two columns sorted out, right? But there's a problem. We still have our revenue going across different columns, and our region going across, our dates going across different columns. What do we do? What do we do? At this point, what we need to do is to do something called promote header. We are going to take up this, our dates, to be our column header. Watch. And at the long run, we'll still bring back that our dates into a single column. Why are we taking this our dates to be our column header to start with? We want a situation whereby when we try to turn the table again, you know, to unpivot the table, you know, from what it looked like now, in order to get the expected outcome or the desired outcome or shape that we want it, right? We want this, all this revenue going across column to be in a single column, and this year going across column to be in a single column. How do I achieve that? We'll do something called promote header. Let's take this up here. Where we have this column 1, column 2, you see 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, and the like, and so on and so forth. So that is what you are going to see now up here. So for you to promote header, you can either come here, right? You come here. Do you see where I am? Do you see where I am? You click on the drop down, and you will see use first row as headers. Use first row as headers. Use first row as headers. So I can click on this and I'll promote header. The other way to do it is to, you know, come here, still under transform, you see use first row as header, click on the drop down. We can use first row as header, and we can use headers as first row, depending on what you want to achieve, right? But in our case, we use first row as header. So here now I'm going to click. I can decide to do it here, but I don't want to do it here. You can do yours here, and you will still get same result. So I'm just trying to show you the different ways for which you can still achieve same thing. Should you forget one of, you know, one way to locate it, you can always remember the other, right? So what we need to do is to click this use first row as header. We want this our first row to become our table header. So I will click that. We'll click that, and automatically we have our column 1, column 2, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. Now, what we want is this. This our 2 column is currently okay. In fact, let's go ahead to rename this, right? Because this column is okay, this column is okay. Where we are currently having problem is from this column, from this very column. This is where we are currently having problem, from this very column. Let me go back. From this very column all the way right? That is where we are currently having problem. But these first 2 columns are okay. These first 2 are okay, because this unique data type has its own column. Here is going to here. Remember this copier sale, parts, printer sale, service plan. They are called in our previous session line of business, right? And we can rename this to be our line of business by abbreviating that. You know, I'll just say LOB. I'm lazy to type LOB. That is line of business, right? And these are north central, northeast, northwest, north, southeast, southwest, and the like. And we know that to be our region, right? So we can just double click. Do you see what I did? I just double click. Or you can decide to click. What do we do? Right click, right click. Once you right click, you should see rename. Let me see. I hope okay, yeah, fine. Rename. Do you see it? You can just right click on the header and go to rename, right? And you rename this to region. You click enter, and that is saved. So we have these 2 columns, okay, but our problem lies from the 3rd column, and we want to work on that. What do we do now? Remember that all the steps that we've been taking are being recorded under the supply step. First, we transpose table, right? Second, we fill down. Third, we promoted header. 4th, we change type. Okay, this change type, did we do change type? No, we didn't do anything like change type. When we promoted header, Power Query automatically change this from a date that it was to a different data type, and as well some of our data, right? What do we need to do at this point in time? For our own good, would want to take out that step that we didn't add ourselves. So we never change any type. I know for sure. So I'm going to take out that step. He said, are you sure you want to delete this step? And deleting this step might affect subsequent step, which could cause the query to break. I said, okay, yeah, fine. I know that I haven't done much thing that will lead to that. You might be faced with that challenge where you discover that, oh, Power Query added a step that you never had and you want to take it out. Because at the long run, you still need to change type. So why do you have to change type? One, which has been one which you'll be adding yourself. And at the long run, you might have contradiction. Hello? Hello?
Did you delete the type?
Yes. I removed it.
Okay, move it. Why?
Yes, I didn't add that step. When I promoted header, let me go back and show you something. Every time you promote header, I'm currently on my last step, which is fill down. Now we need to promote header. I'll come here. Watch what I do. I'll use first row as header. You see, I only use first row as header, which is also known as promoted header. Power Query automatically added the step to me. If I should leave this, when I would need to change this data type to let's say fixed decimal, right? Currency and this thing, data type. I will have most times you have a conflict. When you try to achieve that, Power Query will resist you because you already did that previously. You are having to change type. Now you can change type, a number of times, but not in same data. You cannot keep on converting one data on and on to a different distance.
Okay, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
So anytime we promote.
Hello? Hello? I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Yes, I say anytime we promote headers and there's a change type previously, so it's a must we should delete the change type, right?
If you promote header and it comes with change type, please delete that change type.
Okay, so that it will not occur 2 times.
Yeah,
when you want to
you can have no. My argument is this: if you carry out any action and Power Query goes ahead to add his own step, additional step to you, please take out that step that Power Query has added for you.
Okay.
That is just it. It's simple as that. You can have 3-4 change type depending on your data type or what you are changing and the like. You get. I don't want to leave you with that notion that you can have.
No. The thing I'm saying is that anytime we have promote headers, maybe we did promote headers right now, we will name it.
The kind of data that you might be faced with.
Continue.
Right. And if no, I just promoted the header for me, fine, right? And let's say the next action that I need to take is to change type. I can go ahead to change type if change type is the next action I should take at this point in time. But if Power Query added it automatically for you, please take it out and add the on.
Okay, understand.
Yes, yeah. So
okay, thank you, sir.
What we need to do at this point, we need to rename and to rename this to region. Enter. Let's be fast. We even said that we'll be clean to dirty data, but it's best for you to understand it first. Not how far, but how well, right? So LOB, and said okay, right? And because these two have explained the reason why we will be doing what we want to do now, right? So what we need to do is to highlight the two columns that are okay, and we need to turn this table. We want everything here to go into a single column, and everything here from this place down to the end here goes into a single column. all these column headers into a single column, which is here, and all this revenue into a single column. What we need to do at this point, we've highlighted this too. These two are okay. We'll be doing something called on pivot order column. You've heard of pivot, right? Done pivot table in Excel, Power Pivot in Excel. So you should have understanding. For those of us who have worked with pivot table, should be able to relate to this easily, right? So we'll click on this drop down, still under transform. You notice something that we've been under transform, cleaning this data. So you click on this drop down. Once you click on this drop down, you have on pivot column. On pivot column. If you're on pivot column, this is what your action will affect. And this is not what we want to affect. We want our action to affect our columns that are not currently in order. On pivot order columns, yeah, that is what we want to do. And you have on pivot only selected column. That is not it. So we don't want that. So what we'll be doing is on pivot order column. We've selected the columns that are okay, keep it. What we are saying, Power Query, keep this on pivot order ones. So click on pivot order columns and see what happens. Do you see what Power Query did for us? Power Query just bring that into 2 columns. All our revenues are currently going into 1 column, and our unit, our year are currently going into 1 column. So we'll rename this to, this has been automatically renamed to attribute, but we are going to undo that and just say, let's say year, right? Enter, and we say, what is this revenue, or we can leave it as value, but let me just say ref, right? Revenue. Enter, right? And that is it. What else do we need to do at this point in time? At this point in time, all this, what we need to do is to change our data type. We know this to be our text data type, right? This is our text data type. But even if we don't change this to text data type, it's okay, right? But your numerical value, those ones that you'll be doing calculation on, please always ensure that they are in the right data, or they have the right data type. Always ensure that they have the right data type. It's very important. Very, very important. You can finish cleaning this data and it's okay. But if you don't have the right data type, maybe you want to perform an aggregation, some count and the like, trying to visualize the data, you won't see it to connect. It won't give you the expected result, right? So it's very important. What we need to do currently, if I click here, you see data type. Do you see data type? Do you see this data type? Currently showing any. That is to tell you that this is not converted into any data type. And we want this to be our revenue, because this is our revenue. We want it to be in currency. So fixed decimal, we'll use fixed decimal because we want it to be in currency data type format, right? So we use our fixed decimal. We have our whole number. If it is, let's say, units sold, now we convert that to whole number. If it was something that we need to convert to percentage, we do that. We see date and time, date, you can do duration, text, and the like. First true, but that is the Boolean, binary, and the like. So, but in our case, we've just selected this. Remember, for you to do anything, select that column and go to transform data type. You will see fixed decimal. So once you clean that, you see change data type, and this is what we have. Now, if you want to see the last step, what this data look like previously, you come here. You see rename column, click there. This is what our data look like previously. And this is what it's currently looking at. So you can click on all this to preview your last step that you took, right? You see it? You can click here. Don't click on this red sign, this cross here, right? Just click on the body of the text and you will see all the previous step that you've taken, right? You see it. So, and that is it. So let's, our year, because we don't want our year to sum up. Because if you change year to whole number, right? If you change this to whole number, it won't make sense if 2000 summed up with 2003, 2005, 2008. It makes no sense. So because we don't want this to sum up when we try to, analyze our data, we'll leave that as text. I don't know if you get that. I don't know if you get that.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
I believe that
You
if it's text, I believe if it's 2000, it's supposed to be year, and it's supposed to be on the right hand side because it's a number.
Fine. Do you want to perform aggregation using that?
No.
Fine. Because you don't want to perform aggregation, you should. So what in this thing change data type, do you see anything like here?
No, we only see whole number, which
Fine.
I believe 2000 is whole number.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me tell you the implication of changing it to whole number. If you should try that, you definitely have 2000 summing up with 2003, 2004, which isn't so. So when you want to report this revenue, remember, okay, maybe I forgot this. Every table, every data for reporting must have a date. And when you talk about date, can be day, month, year. I don't know if that is clear. Yes. Day, month, year makes up your date, right? And for this year now, it's part of our date. We can change that to date. If we change that to dates, we'll have a different thing. Watch. You see? This is what it's giving us. But we don't want to do that. No. This is not what we want. Right? So I will need to change this, take out this. That is the implication. And let me.
No, what I'm saying is that.
Now I understand what you are saying. You said that it should be whole number, right?
Yes.
Whole number. Let me show you on this report now. This is a report, right? This is a report.
Yes, sir.
If this, okay, let me quickly do something. Okay, let me quickly do something. Here's my year calendar. Here's my year. So let me pick this and take out every other thing here. Right? This is my year, and let me pick my line chart. And let me go pick my revenue. Just a quick one to show you something. Fat sales revenue. Here's my revenue. This is my revenue. So, do you see what we currently have here? How this is being displayed?
Yes.
If it is a text, it will never display this way. I'll show you the implication of that. Probably in our next session, we'll be doing visualization. Just please remind me to show you that, or you can use this to do your visual, right? To create your visualization. If we change this to text now, to whole number. Here's the whole number.
Yeah.
I know that text, dates. Dates are number. Yes, in Excel. Exactly. And dates are generally numbers. But in this our case, this year that we have, don't change the data type to numbers for any reason. If you have year. And at the bin we have what is it called? Months, year, and the like. Think of, let's say something like this now. Something like this. Do you see this? It's coming in. Okay. Something like this. Do you see this? You can't change this to text.
I did not see it though. Okay, I've seen it.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Are you seeing my Excel?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
Okay, sir. Do you see that this has what is it called? Day,
It has days,
month, and
month,
year.
and year. Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you can't change this to text. You can't change this to text.
Okay.
What you need to change this to is you need to change this to a data type. Hello?
Okay, I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. Ozieme is trying to say something. Hello?
I'm with you. I'm agreeing to what you're saying, sir.
Okay. All right. And that is it. I don't know if that is clear.
Okay, I understand. So my final question is that in case if we have only year now, we'll leave it as whole number, right?
Only year. No, you don't leave it as whole number, as test.
Hello.
If you have something of this
only
nature,
year.
yes.
Yeah, you should
Please
just leave it like that as whole number.
Yes.
As
Don't worry.
test.
Yes, don't worry. We'll treat all this in detail when we
Okay, I
go
want to
by
ask
next.
a question.
Okay, by next
What
week sometime,
about if we have
ensure that.
year on a separate column? Should we treat 3 of them as test as well?
Now let me go to this. Where's my Power BI? Here's my Power BI. Oh, okay, this is it. So let me go to my data set now. This is my Power BI, right? This is what I showed you, but let me go to my report. This, right? See something. So probably you guys will be ending with this while you try dirty data 2, right? Try dirty data 2 and 3. So what I've shown you, you can try other dirty data, but let me just say something with regards to what you just asked me. Now, I want to go to my Power Query. If you want to go to your Power Query, what you need to do, this is my Power BI, right? This is a different report. It's not what we are working on, but I want to navigate to my Power Query. See what I'll do. I'll come to transform, under home transform. I'll go to transform data. I will navigate back to my Power Query. I hope my system don't crash. Okay. It seems I've deleted my data source. I've deleted my data source. So I've deleted my data source. I won't be able to see that again. Let me see. Here's my dates. Go to error. Say data source couldn't find a path, right? So I currently have a challenge. I've deleted my data source, so I can't work with this. I would have shown you. Let me close. Now I can't locate my data source. Let me see if I can to connect back. Just a minute, please. Okay, maybe in our next session, I'm going to show us that I can't actually do anything with this, my report, because I've changed my data source. I've deleted my data source, right? This is just seated. This data is just seated in Power BI. And for me to show you what I want to show you in Power Query, I need to connect back my data source. So I can't do that now, and I don't know where I saved that. That is one challenge, having a whole lot of reports. But nevertheless, what you said was that if you have your date, maybe let's say something of this nature. Let me go back. Something of this nature, right? We have year, Monday, category, and the like. So what you need to do is just to change your data type by let me show you something. So for this date column, right, or date table, our date, we change that to data type. Our month, month, if it is in text, is a text data type. But if it is a number, it also text. It is a number, it's also text. I don't know if you get that. Because
Okay.
months,
I-
if months are represented in number, and you want to, let's say, check your report for between from January to April, period of 4 months, right? January, February, March, April. You wouldn't want to add January, that is 1 plus 2, which is February, plus 3, which is March, plus 4, which is April. It doesn't make any sense. You can only achieve the expected result if those numbers are changed to text, because text will never sum up. I don't know if you get. But your your dates, data type, those ones that contain both year, month, date in a single column should be date. I don't know if that is clear now. But if those information are presented in different column, please always address it as text. Hello?
Yes, I'm hearing. It seems the line is breaking.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so we'll look into that. I have taken note of that. Please, should I forget, do remind me in our next session. So probably not next session per se, because next session we'll be looking at data modeling, how best we can model our data. Continue with data cleaning. We'll clean dirty data too in our next session, and we would dive into data modeling, right? Why next Sunday? Next Sunday we'll be building of these visuals, and mind you, I'll be showing us how to write basic DAX for us to get these visuals. These visuals look simple. This dashboard looks simple, but there's a whole lot that you need to do, right? Look very simple, but there's a whole lot. Most especially how to have a dynamic dashboard like this, that when you click on any of the region, your dashboard background changes. So there's a trick which I'm going to show us, right? Let's say you work for an organization that, okay, yeah.
So we are done with data cleaning, right?
We'll continue next week. We'll continue next week.
Yeah,
so
I sent something to the chat room. That thing you said you want to show me, I snap it on my phone. If you check the chat room, you will see it, sir.
Okay, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm not seeing on your on that one. I'm not seeing this one. Like on top, I'm not seeing the name given. Yours was showing name.
Now, see what he said. He said there are pending changes in your. Now,
No,
if you
it's not that one. No, it's not that one. Like get data. The one on Excel. The one, yours was showing names. Mine is not showing. I want mine to be showing names.
That I now check some of the box.
Like get data. The next one is Excel. Mine is not showing name, but yours is showing name. I want mine to be showing name.
No, I don't get. You click on the drop down now. See this get data. You click on the drop down.
You did not understand, sir. That times is showing Excel. The other one, this one, transformation data.
Let's go through the process. I believe we've come to the end of the session, but now let's go through that. Let's look into that challenge. Let me see, just a minute. Close this. So let me, because I haven't cleaned, just a minute, because I haven't cleaned my second data. I only cleaned the first data and the second data is still unclean. I'm going to disable load. Do you see load enable? I'll click this and I've disabled it. You see that the text here is currently interlineated, right? So because I have disabled the load. Now, when I do close and apply, right? it won't load that very table. It won't load
But
that
how do
very
I-
table. You only see one table here as against two. So I'm trying to go back so that I get what you are trying to explain.
Like,
So I need to close that Power Query first. Just a minute. So you have this, right? Because I disabled the load to the second dirty data, because if I should load that dirty data into my Power BI, I will definitely have error. It won't be successful. So I need to disable the second one. Now you go to get data, right? Let's go
get
step
data
by
is
step.
there. No, I understand that one. Just listen,
No,
sir.
let's
Get-
take it step by step and get to the point at which you get, so that I understand what you are trying to say.
The thing I'm saying is that yours is showing names on the top below. Get data, Excel workbook, Power BI data set. Mine is not showing.
Oh, let me go back.
That's what I'm saying. Look at it. It's not showing names.
Oh, is that?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, your version, right?
I just downloaded it now.
Click on this. Click on this.
It's new version.
You see? No. Do you see this? Do you see this drop down? Do you see this drop down here? Can you see it?
Yes,
I
I can
mine
see
is
it.
not showing name again.
How
So click
do
on
you
this
do it?
drop down. Click on the drop down.
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh, is that?
Wait, I want to.
Just watch me so that you do it. Watch me. See, mine is showing name now. Now watch where my cursor is. Do you see where my cursor is?
Yes.
So I click on this. So it's not showing. If I want it to show name, what do? I go back there and undo what I did. It's same thing with Excel now. Same thing with Excel. If I open Excel now, see. Do you see my Excel is not showing? Do you see?
Yeah.
If I want, I can double click my home and it will show, right? If I want to take out all this ribbon, I just want to have only, all this ribbon, I just want to have only the tab, I will double click home. Or I can come to this and let me click here. I can come here. Do you see it? Click here. Do you see full screen mode? Always hide quick access to bar. I can do that, right? And those ones goes off. So that is it.
I'm clicking on my own. It's not clicking, no.
No, click on it. It should.
I click on it. It's not even doing.
You have Power Query open.
Yes.
Short Power Query. You saw when you saw that I closed Power Query, because once you have Power Query open, you can't do anything on that display until your Power Query closes. Okay, so that was why I first and foremost went to Power Query, close, and come back to Power BI. I could click anywhere on this my Power BI because I have Power Query closed. So that is it.
It's still not showing, no.
No, okay, now close it. Once it's closed finally, it should show.
Okay, but if I open it again, let me open it. Okay, thank you very much, sir.